Richard. Thank you for joining me today.
Hi, Ellie. Thanks for having me.
That's fine. So with regards to the operations manager vacancy, we'll jump straight into the questions if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Excellent. So question 1, please could you start by explaining your current situation and reason for looking?
Yeah, I mean, I've worked in production and operations management all my career. The current role that I've been in, what I was brought in to do has been achieved now. We've got it to a really good position. So I'm kind of looking around for the next challenge, really.
Okay, sounds good. So question 2 then, can you give me an example of when you came up against some resistance to change in your position?
Yeah. Yeah, change is a big topic, really, and I don't think it doesn't matter if it's a massive change like moving factories or merging 2 companies into one, or even if it's just a change in process. I think people do have a natural resistance to it, and a lot of it's down to fear of the unknown. They're going from a known, trusted situation to an unknown, untrusted one. So the way that I always approach it is to make sure that they understand where we are currently and try and give them as clear a picture as I can of what the future state's going to look like and why it needs to look like that, and get them on board with it. And it takes some of the fear away if they can kind of see what we're trying to achieve. That unknown becomes more of a known, and it's less intimidating then. And then being available to talk to them throughout the process. And if there's any questions or queries or people don't know what's going on, then just to shout and make sure that I'm always available to talk to. And that's how I've always managed change.
Okay, brilliant. Question 3 then, what has been your biggest achievement in your professional life?
Yeah, I mean, I try and find an achievement of some sort every day if I can. Not always easy, but yeah, I suppose my career is my proudest achievement, really. Going in at like graduate trainee level and working up to director level, I'm quite proud of. So yeah, I'd probably say that.
Okay. Thanks for that. So question 4, can you give me an example of when you last coached someone through a particularly difficult situation?
I had there was a manager who had a particularly difficult employee to manage, and it had gone on for a long time, and it got to the point where it was in a disciplinary stage, and the manager was quite anxious about that. Hadn't done a disciplinary before, was taking it all very personally, and I just sat him down and said, look, this isn't something you've created. This is a situation the employees created, and your job is to manage it and try and depersonalize it wherever we could. Made sure he understood the process. I talked all the way through the disciplinary process. Did a couple of role plays with him. And again, it was that fear of the unknown, I suppose, of not knowing what was happening. But that seemed to help. And I mean, it would have been the easiest thing in the world for me to have said, oh, look, I'll do it for you. But then he's going to miss an opportunity to grow and learn. And you've got to put yourself in challenging situations to do that. So yeah, in the end, he did it. I don't think he enjoyed it, but he did it. And got a lot from it, and it's never as bad as you think, and that was another thing he found. But yeah, it was pleasing to see that he dealt with that situation really well in the end. So yeah, I was pleased with that.
Okay, excellent. And the last question then, so what is your thought process when a decision has to be made quickly?
Yeah, there's there's a scale, I suppose, isn't there, between making a snap decision, which is basically just a guess at what you're doing is the right thing, or there's deliberating indefinitely until whatever it was you were deciding on has evolved into something else now. And I think there's a sweet spot between the two. I think it's important to have as much time as you can, unless it's something obvious like the building's on fire, in which case the decision is quite straightforward. But you know, there should be a bit of time to at least consider the information that you have available. Make sure you've got as much of that information as you can, and that it's right, and make a decision based on that. I think if possible as well, I like to involve other people in it who are immediately implicated in the decision, and get their view on it as well. So yeah, that's it. Ultimately, you've got to make a decision, and it can't turn into a debate. So if it needs to be done, I'll just say, look, let's do that, and I'll take the consequences of that, and I'll stand by it.
Okay. Brilliant. So that concludes today's interview, actually. So thank you very much for your time today, Richard.
No problem. It's been a pleasure.
You're very welcome. And obviously, I'll be in touch as soon as we hear feedback on this application.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, Richard. Bye-bye.
Cheers, Ellie. Bye.